Welcome to the Veronica Everett Show, live edition on my birthday eve. Yes, my birthday is tomorrow. So thank you guys so much for joining me on our monthly live for the Veronica Everett Show. And I'm super excited to be celebrating entrepreneurship, marriage, family, birthdays, life. And I couldn't think of anyone other than my handsome, intelligent, and multifaceted husband, Mr. Carlos Edwards Jr., owner of Carlos Edwards Media Group, to join me on my live for my birthday. I caught you. I see you got your cup, don't you? It's all right. We're celebrating. Hello
How are you
there.
doing? What's up,
Welcome
people?
to your first live. This isn't your
Oh
first
man, my first
time,
live.
but on the other side of the camera, Carlos is always a very supportive, I won't even say fan, a very supportive husband, all things.
Yeah,
You're a part of the Veronica
I'm a
Everett
fan too.
Show. Yes. How are you? Welcome.
For sure, man. Thank you, man. Glad to be on. It's an honor. It's a privilege. It's your birthday eve.
It's my birthday eve. Everybody knows that as soon as Mother's Day hits, I'm sorry, Taurus, but it's Gemini season after Mother's Day. So I have been
Oh boy.
celebrating. We just went to Universal Studios. My son turned 11 years old last week. So we're 1 week
Yeah,
apart.
for sure.
33 years, 11 years apart. Y'all do the math. So,
Sure.
anywho, honey, how are you? Tell everybody you're going to be on this episode this
Yeah.
week. First, I got to do all of the housekeeping before Aaron kills me. Aaron, come in. Make sure that you keep me
Yeah.
focused since I have this handsome specimen in front of me. We want to make sure
Whoa.
everybody say hey to
Hello.
Aaron.
Hello.
Hey.
You brought
Hello,
me in way
Aaron.
too early. I'm trying to update your title and everything.
Oh,
I
okay,
know. I
okay.
know.
We brought Aaron in too early, but we want to
Pulled you
make
in quick.
sure that you guys watch this Thursday. We have a new episode. Is with Carlos Edwards. The shows are
Yeah,
live midnight
for
on
sure.
YouTube. We'll bring Aaron in soon. And then it's also
Hmm.
available, I think, by 6 a.m. on Buzzsprout if you're listening to the show on Apple, Spotify, things like that. But yes, it's going to be an episode with Mr. Edwards. I believe, honey, this is your first time being on since I've gone on YouTube, correct?
Yes, it is. This is my first time live with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Live, but
So I'm ready
also
for it.
an episode as well. I think you've just been on the
Yeah.
audio version. I don't think that you've been on since we've been independent. And so funny,
Right.
Carlos is upstairs, I'm downstairs. We have quarantined our 11-year-old CJ in his room. So if
He'll
he
be
comes
good.
out at some point, we might have him have, an appearance. So Carlos, we didn't go
Nice.
over this before because we were
Yeah.
running a little late because somebody, not me, was a little behind. But yes, so we're gonna see in the chat if people are interacting with us. So we want to make sure that everybody is interacting in the chat. To me, Carlos, you have always been a social media butterfly.
Yeah,
Like you've
for
been on
sure.
social media years before me. So please
Yeah,
make sure, honey, you take the time to share everything on your social media. Our brand ambassador, Jylen,
for
is
sure.
doing the same. But yeah, let's go ahead and
Uh-huh.
let's get rolling, hun.
Let's
So
get
for
rolling.
those folks that may not know you yet, please introduce
Hmm.
yourself, tell everyone about Carlos Media Group without giving them too much because we do want everybody to listen to the episode that's coming out on May 28th, a day after my birthday. Feel free to send your girl a cash app or Zelle. Holla
Sure.
at me, Veronica Edwards. Um, so, honey, tell us about you.
Yeah, so a little bit about me. My name is Carlos R. Edwards Jr. I'm the son of Carlos R. Edwards Sr. Shout out to all of my Panamanians out there. Afro Latinos, stand up, okay? So originally, I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I've always enjoyed singing, always enjoyed music. Ever since I was a young child, singing like within church. My career pathway kind of led me into the world of education as a teacher. So I have a BA in education and minoring in mid-level science and social studies. And Yeah, I am a former teacher. I taught in the private school,
You will
public.
always be a teacher.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, technically speaking, I'm still teaching because I'm still at
Right. So
AB Tech right now.
you got a little
So
PTSD.
I
You're
guess
former, like,
I know,
I
I know,
guess,
right?
traditional
I
teaching.
have teacher, abuse. I'm like, I'm a former teacher, right?
Because
Shout
I
out to
feel you. I
all
wish,
my
because
educators
you know
out
how
there,
it
man. Shout
was
out
when
to
you
them,
were
man.
working full time. You wish
Yeah,
somebody would
yeah,
say, "Oh, I'm
yeah.
a teacher," and then
So
like, when you going
right,
to work?
right. It feels so weird though, because technically speaking, this isn't like my first time at AB Tech, but every
Hmm.
time that I've worked there, it's always been cool, man. So for me, now I'm kind of transitioning into my life from being that full-time teacher that was in the classroom, 5 days out the week, and then going into, hey, I'm doing like adjuncting. I'm kind of touching it on some like business things. MCing, hosting, kind of
Yeah.
partnering up with and working with the chamber and other
Shout out
groups.
to the Asheville Area
Shout out
Chamber of
to the
Commerce.
Asheville Chamber of Commerce. I've been working with them.
Diana,
Um,
what's Diana's last
I
name? Blackett?
Blackett. Shout
Lord,
out
yes.
to the wonderful Diana Blackett, girl. You're
Period.
amazing. Thank you so much for just
Right.
being you.
Shout out to
Um,
Leanne Briggs, who I'm
Shout
going to
out
be working
to
with soon, being on
the
a
Brit.
panel.
Yeah, facts. I mean,
Thank you,
chamber.
Asheville Area Chamber.
Great people, man. Great people. I had the privilege of being able to kind of co-host at their last job fair, and so that was
And
cool.
I
So,
heard you turned it out,
oh
honey.
man, you know
Periods.
how we do,
Periods.
man. I had the flavor, I had the vibe, I set the mood, I set the
And
tone.
you always come
Um,
sharp. You
I
always come
always
looking
come
clean.
sharp. I always come prepared. I always come ready. Anytime that I'm up front, I'm literally at home. You know what I mean? It's like second nature. You know what I
Yes, it
mean?
is.
So I love it. I enjoy it. Being able to kind of set a mood, to set a tone, to kind of set a stage, and to keep people, you know, captivated and really like bought in and really dialed into what you got to say. I mean, that's so cool to me, man. And I just feel like now I'm in that phase of my life to where I'm taking those natural gifts that God blessed me with, and
Yes.
I'm also finding a way to bless others with it. And God sees fit that He, lays a little something in my lap. So be it. So
Yes.
I mean, I praise God for that. But nah, man, I mean, I feel good right now, man. I guess I kind of went everywhere with like answering
I don't even
um,
remember what the
your
question
full
was, but
question,
that's
but
fine.
like
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing now. I'm doing all of that.
all of that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm doing all of
So, with that being said,
that.
we're
With that being said,
navigating life as entrepreneurs. We have aging parents.
yes,
We're raising a son. We're getting
yes,
older. All the things. We've been married
yes.
17 years. We have evolved.
Wow, 17 years?
17
Yo, you've been with
years.
me well, married to me for 17. You've been with me for 18.
Yes.
Tell the public just how incredible and just how amazing I am.
See how this guy goes. Of course, on my birthday eve, my husband wants me to tell him how amazing he is. He's amazing and he's very patient.
Never
I have a
forget
big
Kings.
personality.
Never
Yes.
forget Kings.
Yes, I will say a lot of times I feel like our kings don't get their credit. And Carlos, I joke, but he's amazing. He's patient, he's kind, and most importantly,
Oh
you're
man,
God fearing.
praise God.
So yes. So
Look at God.
with that being said, King,
Woo, God is
what
great.
advice would you give to couples
Yeah,
trying to grow together while
for sure.
handling real life responsibilities in the midst of
Yeah,
entrepreneurship? Maybe if they're
yeah,
not into entrepreneurship, because I do want to throw
yeah.
out there that Carlos has been counseling folks for a long time, and he's also going to be dipping that toe in the
Life
counseling
coaching,
entrepreneur. Yes, which,
most definitely.
hey, no shade to Dr. Cheyenne, but we
Yeah,
all,
no shade to Dr. Cheyenne. I'm not
we're
a
not trying to
doctor.
get a doctorate in
I'm
counseling,
not
but
doing
we
it, but
can get
I'm
our
PA
hours.
in
We have
USC
lived
Upstate.
experience.
I have the evidence. I got the student loans to prove it. I got the evidence.
So,
But with that said, advice, I would give, I would say, first and foremost, man, you gotta be understanding, man. You gotta compromise. Starting a business takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of effort. And a lot of times that business, it goes outside of like the regular 9 to 5 hours, right? It goes outside of that 8 hour scale. And so you have to be, understanding and really work with your spouse and be compromising, because there will be
Yeah.
times where you're like, man, you still doing stuff for the business? Really? Right?
Another networking event. Right.
Another, event, right? But at the end of the day, right, when you put in that time and you compromise with that actual spouse, I have experienced that spouse is then willing to compromise with you when it comes to
Sure.
certain things. And so this is a give and take. It's not a 100% this way, 100% that way, but it is a understanding. Like, prime example, if that business is paying the bulk of the bills, you're gonna have to be compromising.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
That's
regardless,
facts.
you're going to have to be compromising. But if that business is paying the bulk, right, of that
Right.
income, well, then at the end of the day, you should be understanding and knowing that, hey, this is what's putting food on the table.
Right.
This is what's helping to keep the lights on. This is what's
Mhm.
helping us to be in that position to save up money, to
Yes.
really take trips, to really, do, certain things in life, right? But either way, like, regardless, I still feel like both people have to be compromised. They have to be understanding. You have to meet each other. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Where they are. I agree.
yeah.
And communication is always, everyone thinks is a cliche. You always should communicate in marriage, even more so when you're in marriage and in business. Even though we're not in each other's business on paper,
You
we know
got to
each
talk
other.
about it. You
Yes.
got to verbalize it. I feel like a lot of times people think, oh, well, we communicate, we talk every day. Yeah, you may talk to your spouse every day, but are you talking to them about the financials of their business? Are you talking about, hey, do you have any clients? Do you need more clients? Are these clients stressing you out? Do
Hey, I
you
got 5
have
events this week.
supplemental income, right?
Right.
Like, these are questions, these are things to where you have to put out on the table, right? And that means that you have to be communicating with that partner. And so in your marriage, in that partnership, if it's already rocky, and if it's already stressful, and if it's
Oh, yes.
already a
Preach,
lot of
preacher.
drama, then
Come on
adding a
now.
business to it is going to, I mean, I don't know if that's the best, thing to do, I would say. I
Right.
feel like, a business is almost like adding like another child.
I tell
It's
people
like
your
adding a
business
child to
is
your
your
family,
baby.
right? This is
Yes.
your baby, you know what I mean? And so,
And your business
no,
partner is your baby
yeah,
daddy or your baby mama. So you want to make sure
facts,
that you're having a
facts. You
child with
got to work
somebody
with
you
them.
like.
That's right. That's right. You gotta like them, man, because if you don't like the person that you're with,
Right.
man, it's gonna be hard to love them.
Right. And think
If
about
you
the
don't like them,
people.
man, it's gonna be hard to work with them.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
hard to do business with them. It's gonna be hard to really understand. Okay, um, my spouse may have spent 12, 14, 16 hours that day on that business.
Yep.
And maybe the only time that I do have to really have a full conversation to go over things is, you know, early in the morning when we both in the bed, or maybe,
Right.
early in the morning when she or he is fixing breakfast, or late or late at
You
night
got
for
to
like a
find that
good
time.
hour or two. You got to
Mm-hmm.
take advantage of that time, right? And communicate these things and be open, talk about it, you know what I mean? Because then whenever you do have conflict, or when you do have things within the business that doesn't go good, it's not a surprise.
Right.
It's not a shock, because it's already been talked about months in advance, weeks in advance,
Right.
and so it's not throwing anyone off guard. I feel like a lot of times, and like, please cut in if I'm talking, what I'm
You
saying,
are,
too
honey,
much.
but I'm just letting you go,
Okay,
child.
well
Just
then,
letting you go.
I'll
Go
stop.
ahead.
I'm sorry, I'll stop.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Aaron, please come in. Please rescue me, Aaron. Come
I know,
into.
right? Rescue
Hey,
him,
Aaron.
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for letting me cook there for a second. I
Yes.
was
man.
I was like,
So,
oh no.
so Aaron is also our me and Carlos's concealed carry instructor. And Aaron, I
Facts.
want to say, didn't Carlos have like the best score, like written and in person? I don't want to give him credit for it,
That
but
was
he's pretty
I.
good.
No, yeah, it was good. It was good. I've had some rock stars come through. He's definitely among the upper percentile. Um,
Yo, watch out, watch out.
You know, I'm
Bro,
a
let
I'm a
the
B
fool
plus
you. Let
girl.
the
Like if I
Lord fool
don't
you, okay?
gotta make 100, I
Let
don't
the
make
Lord
100.
fool
That's what
you.
I'm saying.
Yo, man, shout out, man, to Aaron, man, for just being so.
Aaron came to the house.
Aaron is a very good teacher in the sense to where he's very technical and very exact, and he's all about technique and fundamentals, man, when it
Yep.
comes to firearms and just safety, and that's so important, man. Like, oh man, so like, shout out to you, man, Aaron.
Yes, force
appreciate it.
multiplier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
And
appreciate it.
real.
Aaron,
Yeah,
I
and
want you to talk
oh, go
about the
ahead.
little competition that you did. But yeah, go ahead. Go
Oh
ahead.
yeah,
Oh
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I have plenty to speak on, the entrepreneurial path and being married and all that. Like that's very much my reality as well. I have a wife and 4-year-old daughter, and we go own a business together as well as Force Multiplier Solutions. So, but yeah, little update. I shot a couple competitions here lately. I shot
Hey.
the Glock GSSF, which is the Glock Shooting Sports Foundation. Um, I
Nice,
got I got
nice.
in my divisions top 10 in that out of
Out of
about
like
80 or
80.
so people. Yeah.
Right. You know, I'm all about the sets out of 80.
hmm
Yes.
And then I
Wow.
shot the AK Masters down in South Carolina,
I love that it's
which
called the
Okay,
8K Masters.
okay.
Aaron, what city is that? Can you disclose what city this is? I feel like it's
yeah,
in.
that's
All
in
right.
Clinton. It's once a year. There's about
We passed by
200 and
Clinton, honey. You know, when we got
Clinton,
yeah.
okay, yeah,
that split
yeah,
towards Greenville, Columbia. Right. We only
yeah.
joke about Clinton.
Clinton,
Shout out to
yep,
there's a
yep, yep,
Clinton,
yep,
North
yep.
Carolina, and there's a Clinton, South Carolina. So shout out to
Right.
Clinton, South Carolina.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I placed 12th in that in my division. There's about
Oh, that's big.
220 people or so
Wow.
that
And I
compete
mean,
there.
it's straight G.I. Joe. If you could pull a video, I mean, he's like running on the course, rolling in the grass,
I
boom,
knew
boom,
you were
boom.
gonna
Doing,
ask
you
me.
know, I was
I
gonna
knew
have,
it.
at some point, I do want to show that. But yes, so anybody check out Force Multiplier. Aaron, make sure that you drop all your information. I'm always telling, especially women of color, people of color, especially, you need to be able to protect yourself. I was a person that I never held a gun until Aaron trained me in the house first, made me feel comfortable around guns. Then we went out shooting outside, so it wasn't inside where it was very loud. So, roll up on me if you want to. But because Aaron has taught me now, like,
Oh, look
and
at talk.
especially
I like
we've
that.
had we've had yes, fmstraining.com. We've dealt with Hurricane Helene. We've had COVID. We've had a lot of times where we haven't had electricity or power, water. You just want to be able to protect yourselves. You never know.
Mhm.
And especially living in Western North Carolina, where you can just go a mile or two out of the city and you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. So appreciate you, Aaron.
Yeah, and I pretty much I live by the model of giving you confidence in navigating uh difficult situations, whether that be not just it's pretty firearm focused, but a lot of like preventative measures, not just defensively but also what to do if there's a flood, what to do if there's a fire, what to do, and just kind of giving some order and structure, like you were saying, Carlos, is like, if you follow a certain doctrine and a certain set of procedures in preparing for these things, that can give you confidence. It's basically, it's preparedness, not paranoia. And
Mm.
there is a thin line between the two, don't get me wrong, but
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get that stuff pulled up and leave you guys back to
Yeah,
it. I
but
feel like one of those
Aaron,
like meteorology
yes.
or the like on site.
Yes, the meteorologist. But I do because we're having rain now for like 10 days. Aaron, real quick
Oh,
before
yeah.
you go, what tips can you give for people? Because Bat Cave, places like that, they're getting flooded in Western North Carolina and people
Yeah.
in
Sure.
different parts of Georgia and South Carolina. So what would be some tips that you would say you should absolutely be doing if you're dealing with flooding and you want to protect yourself?
Yeah, first and foremost, get away from the idea of well, Helene was worse. It can't affect me if I wasn't affected by Helene, or if you were affected by Helene, and then it was a once in a lifetime type deal. If you think that you are immune to any type of damage from natural disaster or whatnot because of that as a prerequisite, I would say that's kind of a false idea.
Right.
I would say that's probably the most popular thing I've come across. Um, the reality of it is a lot of the water channels and everything were changed from Helene. Water has now been guided different directions, as well as the just the continuity of the ground and
That's true.
the root systems and everything. You might be more vulnerable to trees falling, to landslides,
Yep.
whatnot. The topography of Western North Carolina is different now. So just because it
Mm-hmm.
didn't happen before doesn't mean it won't happen now. And
Yep.
with that being said, you know the there's not a whole lot you can do during, but being cognizant of that and paying attention
Mm,
to the information coming out. Uh, and just kind of keeping an eye out, honestly, that's the best thing you can do. Is
Yep.
if you have to ask yourself, am I safe, then the answer is probably no. So
Yeah.
seek high ground. Go ahead and secure any important documents that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and get those collected and into a waterproof container or bag or whatnot. And then just kind of start uh, gather. You can at this point start gathering things so that if you need to exfil out of your house, that is an option, and you're not doing it in 3 feet of water.
Yes, because I have seen that it's definitely some flood warnings, flood watch, and there's a lot of roads that washed out and it's crazy out there. So
Hmm.
definitely want people to be safe. But thank you, Aaron. Always we'll be
Hmm.
bringing you back in if
Cool.
necessary. Uh-oh, I think somebody broke out of his room. We might have a cameo by CJ soon, honey. We'll see. But so
oh no.
back to this episode that's going to be airing this Thursday, May 28th, right after
Mhm.
my birthday. We are talking about how proud I am of you from pivoting from full time teaching in the classroom into entrepreneurship with the creation of Carlos Edwards Media Group. So let's talk about that a little bit. Can you just share how you came up with the name, what services you provide without giving up too much tea? We want people to go back and listen to the show this Thursday, but let's give some people a little preview. And I'm gonna put you on the spot to sing something, to do something, show them why you got a media group, but let them know.
Okay, so Carlos Edwards Media Group basically encompasses a multitude of things. Musically, I'm a self-taught vocalist, as I like to say. But I've sung within church, for the majority of my life. I had the opportunity years ago to be in a quartet or a quintet group, Vision. Shout out to all of my old to all of
Vision.
my Vision members out there, man.
Yes.
And so we were like a nice little vocal, like gospel kind of singing group. We kind of did like a few gigs, traveled around like North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and at the
Southeast.
time I
Okay.
was yeah, I was young. I
Late
was probably like
90s,
15,
early
16.
2000s.
I know, right? And so it was one of those experiences that it always stood out at me, and I always remember it. Like I had so much fun, enjoyed it, and so kind of carrying that into kind of jumping into education, finding my passion in the classroom, and then transitioning now into where I'm at now is I'm kind of taking all of those talents from singing to education to life coaching to emceeing and hosting, and I'm combining it
Wow.
into the Carlos Edwards Media Group.
Yes.
And those are the services overall that I provide. And so I won't go too much more into detail. Just check out www.carlosedwards.com, and you can find out more from there and from the upcoming show as well.
Nice. So I know when a lot of people are trying to start off with entrepreneurship, a lot of people are like,
Hmm.
well, I don't have anything that people will pay me for, especially a lot of times teachers. And I'm like, teachers are the most creative, patient, innovative people because you're dealing with so
Praise
many
God. Yeah,
different
for sure.
minds and all the things. So just like how you were like, okay, I can provide
Hmm.
consulting. So teachers listening, you can be a tutor if you wanted to. You
For
can
sure.
consult with a private school. You can substitute teach. You can
Hmm.
adjunct teach. With Carlos, you have your bachelor's degree, and you're still able to teach. At AB Tech at a college.
Right.
So a lot of times people
Sure.
think you have to have your PhD or a master's. You don't have to. So you don't
You
have to
don't.
limit
Yeah,
yourself. So you just want to
for
start
sure.
thinking out of the box because we talk about this all the time. Carlos and I are 44. Well, I
Hmm.
will be 44 tomorrow.
I
um,
haven't beat Mark in
but
2 months.
we have an 11-year-old. So we're thinking about in the next 10
Sure.
years, like we want to be retiring, not saying that we
Yeah.
won't always work a job, but we want to be able to travel for a month if we want to. We want to be able to say
Yes.
no to different work. This is the time to start doing it. And in doing so, you have to have multiple streams of income. None of these millionaires and billionaires out here are just because they worked one job that they were at a desk for 40 hours a week. They had
Hmm.
investments, they had real estate, they
Yes.
created something, they had a business, and they might have also had a job. So that is
Hmm.
definitely the type of conversations that me and Carlos have been talking about. A lot of our friends that are in that same phase of our lives and realizing that this is more possible than we think. CJ, come
For
here real
sure.
quick. I see you on the steps. Look, let's bring CJ in. CJ, come on. Now you're going to be on
He's on
live.
the steps.
Yes, I know you. Well, you didn't want to be. Here's our son, CJ, my little CJ. All right. Bye bye. What did you need, honey? What were you down here for? Okay, well, going upstairs. Remember, we said we're on
He's like
live.
nothing.
Yes, for 30 more
He wanted to get
minutes.
on TV,
You
man.
can
That's all
check
that
up on
was.
dad too if you want to. Carlos is upstairs. I'm downstairs. So that's the magic of our very fancy Veronica Everett show studio. But yes, so that's kind of the is that CJ now coming in? Yeah, let's
Yeah,
come
he
in.
he peeked in, but
He's
he
been
left.
standing in the stairway for a while, and I can hear him. But it's always
Oh man,
funny.
see, he's so curious. I love it.
Only
Curious little
child,
CJ.
shut up. Oh,
Only
Aaron's
I
child.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there he
back.
yeah.
is.
I totally
He's like, hey,
feel
what are you guys doing without me?
I totally feel that.
Where's Penelope? Where's
Well,
Princess Penelope?
oh, she's being good. She's not coming out on camera this time.
Right, right. Penelope's
But
one of my best friends. I've been knowing her since she's one. And,
Nice.
Aaron's beautiful daughter, she comes out on set. She's
Hmm.
very opinionated. She's a boss. She knows what she wants, and I love it.
yeah, I wanted to say, drop a comment if you're watching this back or you're tuning in live. Drop a comment if you've seen one of our kids in the background of the shorts. They've made it in quite a few, so we might
They
might
have.
do a little shout out if whoever spots that.
Yay. And I'm so glad for
Kids
COVID
edition.
because I feel like before COVID, I was like, a child cannot be seen. Everything has to be
Mhm.
perfect. Now people are like, no, no, bring Penelope, to the meeting. We'll have meetings at breweries and our children are there playing out and they have playgrounds for the kids here.
Mhm.
Breweries here is like amusement parks. It's like, okay, it's a family affair. So thank you guys for
Yeah.
always allowing us to share our
Yeah.
family. We don't usually show CJ a lot, but he's getting so long. He's almost 5 feet tall.
Bless his heart.
Not ready for it yet, but he's still very much
How long was the
11.
show?
The live? An
Yeah.
hour. Look at you. Yes.
Yeah.
An
Let's
hour.
go.
Yes. So, honey, we got like
Let's
20
go.
minutes. So there's more that we
What's
could
up?
talk about. So what's on your mind? It's my
What you
birthday
want to talk
Eve.
about, man? I
We're
mean, I could talk about
freestyling.
so much, man. I could talk about life. I could
We
talk
don't talk
about.
politics. We don't talk religion too much on the show.
Okay,
I'm
so we
trying to get
don't talk
sponsors. Trying to
politics. We
get sponsors.
don't talk religion. Well, let's
Not too
talk.
much. We believe in God. Everyone knows
Let's
that, but
talk about how, why is there no public transportation in
Oh,
Nashville?
actually, I saw on the
What's going
news
on?
that they're having a survey. So I'm going to tell you this, where they
Yeah.
want to ask folks in the area what are the needs, because they have said that people want to make
Public
sure that
transportation
buses are coming
and
every 15 minutes.
affordable housing.
No, this
Affordable
is just for
housing.
art, honey, just for art. Asheville, ride, transit, whatever. The
Oh,
bus system is specifically asking for feedback on
the
what
bus
we need
system
to
needs
do.
to have more buses running. Buses should be running every 10 minutes.
Okay, they said 15, but I like 10.
Every 10, because 15 can turn into 16, 17, 20, 30 every 10
Traffic,
minutes.
right.
Every 10 minutes, there should be actual an actual service, right? But then on top of that, the actual bus station, it's time to build some type of roofed kind
That's
of
downtown. That's right
station
off of Cox, right?
spot that can hold like 20, 30 people at a time. You see what I'm saying? Like something to where it
We
can,
got that,
make
honey. We
sure.
got that.
We don't have that at every bus station.
But
I'm talking about.
nobody. Oh, okay. You want multiple.
I'm
Not
talking
every
about
bus station is
every
gonna have that.
single bus
No,
station.
no, no, no. You can't
Every
have
bus
that.
station should have, something
Even New
large
York
enough.
City doesn't have that. You'll have Grand Central Station, and you'll have
Okay,
some of
well
those
then.
big hubs, but not every stop.
Okay, well then.
That's too much money, taxpayers' money.
Okay, well, I believe that there should be another public transportation option, light rail. A light rail
But
that
Charlotte did that.
runs from the very north to the very south. So it would be what? Would it be like Weaverville all the way down to like
Fletcher, Arden,
no, like past that. I would say
in Buncombe County.
mm-mm.
It has to
Hendersonville.
stay. Well, that's a different county, honey, and then a different city. So that's the hard part with the cities and
Okay,
counties.
well then, if you want to start it like that, fine. Weaverville to Arden, north south, and then one running east to west. A real light
Chandler
rail
might as
system.
well just be right. Exactly.
A real light rail system to where multiple people can ride it, to where there are parking lots, to where people can take their car, they can drive there, park it, and then they can get on said light rail and get from point A to point B. I feel like one of the biggest things holding Asheville back is having reliable public transportation that anyone can get on, that is literally running every 10 minutes. And that you can legitimately get to downtown. You can legitimately get to, what I'm saying, Arden,
the hospital,
hospital, AB Tech, dropping off at certain schools, you know what I'm saying? So that it's set up so that can supplement the bus system.
Got
and
it.
then, I mean, that's what,
I'm good on the bus because Honey's very passionate about it. I'm like, we're going to spend all the time on the bus.
Okay.
But I'm cool with that.
Yeah. I feel
and
like
then what were you going to say? And then?
Affordable housing.
Oh, well, that's a whole. Well, shout out to our guy Dan of Safe Shelter, because he's working with AB Tech with tiny home building. And I just had coffee today with Sarah Nunez, and she's bought some land and she's wanting to do some things in regards to that too. So a lot of people, especially in our age group, is seeing, just like you said, Carlos, how important it is to have land and to have affordable housing on it, and to be able to plant on this land and to grow things and basically be sustainable. And so that's something I know we've talked about, Carlos. We've been married, we said 17 years. You've always been on tiny living.
Sustainability, man.
Talk about that a little bit that you would want to share with folks, just to, that's not overwhelming because some people automatically like, I want
For sure.
electricity. I'm not trying to be an outhouse, but just what are your thoughts on
For sure.
sustainability and what are little things people can do to just be a little bit more green?
For sure. I mean, right now, little things to where people can do just to be like a little bit more green. LED lighting. Now, yes, the cost is more expensive up front, but these lights last forever. I mean, well, not forever, but they last a
Right.
very long time, and they don't use as much electricity, right? So that would be one. Number two, I would say when it comes to water, getting some type of item that can purify your tap water. Now,
Ooh.
one thing that people kind of forget, right? Um, yes, now our county has clean water. It's not brown. It's not looking crazy. But during
I ain't
Hurricane
drinking it.
Helene, the water was, was dirty. There was a lot of silt. There was a lot of chemicals, a lot of
Yes.
contaminants, a lot of places that were flooded, that were warehouses, that were factories. These have a lot of, chemicals and like a lot of products in them, a lot of waste that gets into your water system. So I would
Sure.
say it's like imperative to have your own kind of like filter. Someone to
Yep.
filter out that water. They have a lot of them. They have options to where you can actually um,
You told
you
me just like in
can
a Yeti cup or
it
something,
could
right? You
be
can
right. It could be, I mean, that size. It could be like
a
on the
pitcher.
actual water faucet. It can be a pitcher. There's so many options, right?
Okay. So
But
LED lights, clean
right,
water that you filter
clean
yourself. What's
water.
the last thing that you would recommend?
The last thing I would recommend would be long-term food items.
Mm,
Long-term food items, and these are some long-term food items that people don't think about, but they are like salt, um,
yeah.
sugar,
Yep.
honey, herbs,
Non-perishable. I had got some
spices,
tuna fish the other day. Shout out to Aunt Ronnie.
non-perishables. Now, they
Yes.
do have items that I would say, if you want to be extra, healthy, and more so health conscious, then any, I guess, canned food items that are inside of a glass jar would be ideal because those are long-term items,
And those aluminum
and
cans, my tuna fish, my
and
salmon.
then they are within glass jars, and so you can technically leave them in there longer without having to worry about items wasting away in it that's not the food, like the metal or the plastic used to then
Yes.
line it and all like that. But if you don't care about all of that, and if you routinely eat your canned food items, then yes, canned food items of food that you usually eat. That's the
Yeah.
key. Canned
Yeah.
food items of food that you usually eat. You never want to get just a bunch of long-term
Been
storage food,
there. And like, I
and you
ain't
don't
eating
eat it.
this. I ain't
You
eating
don't
this.
eat it at all. And so when those times come, it's like, oh, great. I got chicken soup in this ready to eat,
That you can just
meal
pull
little
open.
pill bag, and I don't, you know what I mean? So you want to
Yes.
make it fun. Like you want it
Yeah.
to be fun to where, food that you feel comfortable eating, that you will feel good about eating when those hard times come.
Yeah, I agree. There's just little things you can do. I've been saying for a while because I work with different clients that are farmers, Wicked Garden, shout out to them. They're always at the downtown
Hmm.
farmers market. So it's just like I could probably put some stuff in a pot and start growing things, especially now that things are getting more expensive. So
For sure.
we have social media. Let's use it for good, not evil. So
Bartering.
bartering is definitely
Bartering.
on collective bargaining and has to have an equal exchange, but that's what you should do in community. Is if I know a farmer, I could provide you accounting, you could provide consulting, emceeing, they might provide you something in exchange. So I love that, collective bargaining for sure.
May we talk a little bit about silver and gold, and just
Oh, Aaron popped
different
in. Yeah.
different
What?
means of kind of investments and kind of
Carlos
currency and
is
some of the
very
stuff that's like going
passionate.
on.
I don't know, what he
Because
did,
one
just
thing I
drop down the
have,
steps.
Oh yeah. Oh.
CJ. But sorry,
Oh,
Aaron
CJ.
popped in. Aaron, did you
Oh,
want
I'm
to
sorry. Go
chime
ahead.
in
Go ahead,
before we
Aaron.
get
My
to
bad.
silver
Yeah,
and
yeah.
gold?
Just want to shout out Bros Build. Thanks for hitting me up and saying hey
Yes, I
and
saw
all that.
that.
I
Bros
had
built like a 4-8 course meal. Yes.
thank you, thank you. I did have a prompt for you guys that's looping back to the original subject, but if you want to talk about silver and gold, I do.
No,
We'll end
no,
with
no,
silver and
no,
gold, Aaron.
no, no,
Save
no, no, no,
me.
no, no, no. Speak on it,
Yes.
Aaron.
Yeah, no, which is interesting. What you brought up is like a big part of what we were talking about with what I offer and everything. That part of that preparedness,
Nice.
but also you guys have some insight on that as well with the financial preparedness and the how can you be conscious of the environment, but also being well stocked if something bad happens, and also being health conscious and all that. And that's really good stuff. That has nothing to do with my prompt.
Right,
I've
right,
been in
right,
radio long
right,
enough, I
right.
can find a way to segue it, but I'm not going to try.
Right,
um
right, right.
the no what I wanted to do is talk about, or what I want to hear from you guys is, with my wife Bria and I, we're very much passing ships. Matter of fact, right before we came live, she came home and I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? We're live in like 2 minutes,
Was
and
that
then
what
the
the dog was like?
dog is barking and
Yes.
everything. And
Shout out to
Perfect
Bree.
timing.
She's a nurse, so she has different hours.
she's an
Yes.
animal nurse. Yeah. The
Ooh.
Yeah, and
Wow.
we're very much
Nice.
passing ships. We own a business together. And then of course she supports Force Multiplier, and what we've come to realize we just entered our 4th year of business ownership and marriage.
All right.
Congratulations.
Oh wait, no,
Congratulations.
fifth
That's
Yes.
year of
big.
marriage, 4th year of business ownership.
That's
Got it.
Um,
big.
Got it.
the
Wow. That's big. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
And a
we
4-year-old on top of
and a
that.
4 yeah.
Right. Right.
Um,
That's a
the
lot. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that we've kind of noticed over the years develop is you guys started talking about like, hey, make sure that you check in with each other on the hey, what do you got going on this week? Here's some of the projects that I have going. What are
Hmm.
what are
Hmm.
some of the business trends and everything? And I resonate with that. And I feel like some of those subjects, at least for my wife and I, are the easier topics to navigate, especially when you don't see each other as much. So I
Right.
guess kind of my prompt would be, when how do you compartmentalize, and how do you separate, how do you clock out, because that's the reality of working for yourself, is you don't necessarily clock out. Sure, you can put
Right.
your an automatic email, sure you can
Right.
put the phone down and everything, but in reality, the cold hard truth of it is you finally put down your phone and you're exhausted, and you guys just watch or not you guys, but you just end up watching a
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
together and then go to bed and then rinse, lather, repeat. And
Right.
what
Hmm.
I've noticed that it's a lot harder to effectively communicate on the non-logistical side, because we're a great team, we're a
Mm.
great co-owners of a business. you
Yes.
know it's that might not be the case in all scenarios with partnerships
Yeah.
and all
But
that.
we
same
get
with
it.
same with raising a child, like
We get
same
it,
page
man.
on everything. Yeah. So yeah, I'll jump out and let you kind of comment on that if you're willing.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I think, from my point of view, man, like I think back to when Veronica first started her business, and I
That
was
was
and,
like
and we were raising
2018.
CJ. He was
CJ was
only maybe he was 2,
two and
right?
a
And
half.
so similar spot, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like still learning about her, still navigating that, being, a father. She's a mother, she's a business
New parents.
owner as well, new parents. And so for me at first, I just wasn't understanding so much. I was like, man, why is she spending so much time doing this? How come this is like that, And the thing that helped me is understanding that, like, okay, you gotta make that time. You have to literally, even if it's cutting out an hour and saying, hey, at this time, at this date, we are going to plan something for us. It could be just eating out at a nice little spot. It could be a fast food spot. It could be, just going to a nice little place to just have drinks, whatever, you guys enjoy doing. And sometimes during those dates and those moments, you're gonna have, the little one there with you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've had we've had so many dates just like that to where
Rooftop.
it's been literally, I mean, it's a whole family affair, right? But like just being able to remove yourself from that environment, even if it's only for like an hour, remove yourself,
Yep.
have those moments with your partner, and just talk about other stuff, talk about life, talk about family. If you want to give yourself one business question, you can, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, try to keep it funky like that, because it's going to be hard trying to have that quality time every single day. I'll just be honest, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's going to
And
be a
don't lock
challenge.
yourself into we have to have this many dates a week. We have to do this. I think when you set the
Right.
rules, then you set yourself up to fail. So I don't think, Carlos, we've ever said we can't talk about business after this time. If it's something, if I get an email at 7 o'clock and it's saying I want a
Well, that's true
contract,
too. I mean, if things come up,
right,
they come up. You know what I
right.
mean? Like, I'm not saying to just completely ignore, everything. No, but try to have a few of those moments, to where you can talk about everything else. And usually for us, like what helps for us is us having to, kind of get away from the house, even if it is going up the
Yeah.
street to K Pasa,
Shout
or
out to
even
K
if it
Pasa. I need
is
a sponsorship for K
right,
Pasa.
like even if it is finding those little moments where, okay, my kid, they are in school, okay, let's set something up, or
We're
late
notorious
at
for
night.
lunch dates. We're notorious
Right.
for when CJ goes to bed, we'll have date nights in the living room. When
Hmm.
we do take CJ, he has a tablet. Like you said, it's just being intentional. But in general, just life, I think we treat it like a regular job. Like, yeah, we'll talk about business 9 to 5, but typically after that on the weekends, we really try not to talk about it. I think it's just been organic, right? Like we've never really had an
Yeah.
issue where I've had to say, okay, Carlos, turn
I
off
mean, things
business.
are, well, I'll put it to you like this. We may not talk as much about business over the weekends and things like that, but things still come up, and things still happen, and they don't get ignored, especially
Mm-hmm.
if it's something profitable. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, that is like a number one understanding, unless it is the Sabbath. Outside of that, it's
Sunset
like,
Friday to Sunset Saturday. We were
unless
right.
it's, that, other than that, if it's
We was
something
at Universal
profitable
and you
that's
was
going to
in the
bring in
meeting
income, oh, you're gonna take that meeting.
all day. So
you're gonna
yeah,
take
so
that
it's
meeting.
different for every
Yeah,
couple. But Aaron, I think that was a great question. It's just all
for
about
sure.
what is the culture of your relationship. We are,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
I'm a planner, so I have my calendar right here. I'll talk to Carlos the beginning of the week. Okay, what's going on this week? What do you have going on business wise? What do I have
Mm-hmm.
going on? What do we have going
We
on for
plan out
CJ?
dates.
We got a
Yeah,
plan because we
we
have
plan
family.
out dates.
Nobody
We do.
lives here, so we have to plan out of town trips, in town
Mm-hmm.
stuff, as well as we're leaders within our church. So then there's things we have to plan with that. We're
For
leaders within
sure.
the community, so it's just different things that we're doing. But I live off of my phone calendar. If it's not in there, then it doesn't exist. So that helps me tremendously.
Mm. Yeah.
Nailed it, guys. Thank you.
Yes. Aaron, anything else? I know,
Nice.
Carlos, we have about 7 minutes left. I would give you 2 or 3 minutes on silver. Just 2 or 3.
Real quick,
I'll just say this.
oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah, sorry. Real
Oh,
quick,
yes,
I'm
yes.
sorry. I'm sorry. My
give
bad.
oh no, you're good. It's not my show.
Yes,
But anybody anybody let's see if I can't pull this up. Anybody in
Ooh.
the Henderson County area, just be advised
Ooh, that's what
that
I'm
roads
saying. You see this,
are giving
Carlos? This is
way.
right now.
That's crazy. I
I'm
mean, at
sure.
first, I thought pictures online were fake. I had
I
to
saw
like
this
go
picture
to
too.
other verified websites and like confirm it because I thought the pictures were fake. But no, this is real. Wow.
And we've
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
have experienced bad flooding. Everybody knows the different areas in Asheville, Biltmore, that floods and things of that sort. So when
Hmm.
I've been hearing when we left for Universal on Wednesday, and I heard that we've had rain ever since Wednesday and it's not stopping to like next week, I was like, oh yeah, this ain't gonna be good. and they just opened up like Lake Lore and some of these areas that have been shut down since September 2024 with
Yeah.
Helene. So I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. But yes, thank you for that, Aaron, because we do want people to watch the news, watch your alerts, be vigilant, and like Aaron said, just make sure that you're prepared. And if you don't feel like you're safe, get out, and get your important documents. So, honey, yes, give us a couple of minutes to close out on your passion. It seems like in the last year or so, silver and gold, more so silver.
Investments, man. Silver and gold.
This
Real
this wouldn't be
bullion.
the Veronica's Edward show if we didn't talk about
Real
something
bullion.
financial. So
Silver and
tell us.
gold. Silver
So
and
when I
gold.
hear
Real
that, is it
bullion.
bullion or bullion? I'm like,
Bullion. I
bullion,
mean,
bullion.
you said it right.
What is the definition of bullion?
So bullion is a type of monetary metal, such as gold and silver, that is then minted within into actual bars or actual coins.
Oh, I think about the Wild Wild West.
Yes, and so technically speaking, when people think about bullion, right, they think of gold bars, right, the very thick gold
If you're a
bars,
cook,
which
I think of like liquid. I think of like chicken bouillon. Like that's what I'm
right,
thinking of.
right.
That's great.
And so, but a lot of times people don't think about money, and they don't. Well, okay, when they think about money, they think of what cash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or they think about currency. And yes, that's technically what we would consider money, right? But gold has a monetary value, so does silver. And so over the past, I would say year, really the first time I like invested within silver was like a few years ago. At the time, I only bought like a few ounces. It was only worth like $24 an ounce. Now it's going up to $78 an ounce. At its highest
Zing!
earlier this year, it was at like over $120
I'm gonna
an
tell Carlos,
ounce,
sell it,
over like
sell it, sell it.
$119 an ounce. And
Right.
so, what it is though is that bullion is a hedge against inflation. As the value of everything, I guess, goes up, the value of money goes down. And so it takes more of that cash to purchase the
A
very same
house,
items,
food, gas,
right?
as we're
But
seeing.
on the flip side, a precious metal like gold, like silver, serves as a hedge. And so, therefore, the same ounces of 1 ounce of gold will always be 1 ounce of gold, regardless of time. 1 ounce of silver will always be 1 ounce
I
of
love how you
silver,
explained that. Yep.
regardless. And so, if you like think back to when back in the day, our real actual currency was made out of silver. We had silver half dollars, we had dimes, we had quarters, right? And what happened to them? Well, I think in the year like 1964, 1965, laws were passed, and our mint stopped minting or using actual real silver in our coins.
Fun
And so
fact.
the metal, the value of that metal, it went down.
Mm-hmm.
And this just showed that, the value of our money, it's going down and down and down. And so that little silver half dollar now, back then it was worth only 50 cents. Now it's worth over like $20. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that just shows inflation. That's why it's important to buy silver and gold to serve it as that hedge. You can always sell it not only at a pawn shop, but at bullion shops, at
You can sell it to
Mex.
the bank.
You can't necessarily sell it to the bank,
Okay. You can purchase from the bank.
but silver and gold is accepted worldwide, and there are countries around the world right now, with India being one that is now accepting silver as a asset to use to acquire a loan or to acquire money. And so just throwing that out there, so if you are interested, into that, then, search it up. But yeah, this is my wonderful website.
Yes. No, honey, I'm glad that you talked.
www.carlosedwards.com. Check it out.
Honey,
if you're interested.
you just been
Sorry.
going. I was just saying,
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you for talking about the silver and the gold. And that if anybody's interested in that, that you're going to be starting your own YouTube channel, podcasting, possibly conversations with Carlos. But I definitely wanted to bring people to your website before we go because we got about a minute left before we hit 7 o'clock. Okay, now go. Sorry. You can
All
talk
right. Are you
now.
talking to me?
Yes, honey. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nah, I'm just, I'm just making sure, you know what I'm saying? But no, this is my website, www.carlosedwards.com. Feel free to check it out. If you would like to reach out to me, then there is a link on there. Just click contact me. Check out some of my services, check out some things that I provide, some MCing, some consulting, some vocals. Uh, Feel free to reach out to me, man, if you have any questions about anything. If you want me to work with you, feel free. Contact me through my website. I will get back to you ASAP.
Yes. Well, honey, thank you so much for sharing my birthday eve with me and with the whole V team out there watching
No
and
problem.
supporting. And please listen, everybody, to this week's episode that will be with Mr.
Yeah.
Carlos Edwards Jr., owner of Carlos Edwards Media Group. And as he said, you can head over to carlosedwards.com. And so, as always, I want to tell everyone to stay balanced and financially savvy and just remember to pour into your dreams. And hey, you're the only one stopping you from your destiny. So, until next time.